Dr. Nicolette McGuire, Assistant Professor and Director of Student Affairs at Oceana University of Medicine. And I want to acknowledge with gratitude that I'm joining you today from Anishinaabe territory in rural tiny Ontario, Canada. I'm joined today by Dr. Khrystal Boone, OUM Dean for North America. Dr. Boone is an MD who practiced and held the Chief Medical Information Officer role in rural Missouri. And you can learn more about Dr. Boone by visiting the faculty and leadership page of our website. So welcome, Dr. Boone.
Hello.
For this short segment, I have some questions for you from prospective students. Are you ready?
Yep, absolutely.
Okay, so Dr. Boone, Nathan wants to know, what's the examination process to practice in the U.S.? So could you tell us what are the USMLE steps and why is passing these exams essential for practice in the U.S.?
Yeah. So in order to practice in the United States, you have to pass USMLE Step 1 and USMLE Step 2. So the USMLEs are a group of tests that are given by the National Board of Medical Examiners. These are standardized tests like you would see, like an MCAT or an LSAT or, any of these other standardized tests, SATs, ACTs that we have. But the goal of these is to make the medical education standard across the board. So to ensure that at the very least, this is the knowledge that you have. It essentially is an equalizer across the board, right? So no matter where you went to medical school, whether it's in the US or it's in another country, you can now guarantee that these physicians that are practicing all have this degree of knowledge. And that's why we have USMLE Step 1 and Step 2. The difference between the two, however, is USMLE Step 1 concentrates on what we'd call like your first 2 years of medical school, which are basic sciences, very foundational. More so, they want to know if you understand from the cellular level how a patient actually developed this disease, what's the basis or the biochemical process behind the disease. Whereas when you get into Step 2, this is where most people understand medicine, right? This is when you walk into your physician's office and they say, okay, you have this disease, here goes this prescription, or we have to do this surgical process, or, this is the management process. This is all based off of a combination of the two, right? So your basic plus now your clinical knowledge. So Step 2 is testing on both. So you have to have that basic knowledge. It has to be very, very strong. And now you build on it and apply clinical basis to it. So you know that the heart works this way. And if there is a malfunction in that particular pathway, you can end up with X or Y disease. Now we know that there are pharmacotherapeutics that can help assist that process when it's gone awry. So that's Step 2, helping now with that bridge between basic sciences and clinical medicine. Now, I think the second part of the question was something along the lines of why is it essential? So it's what I said before, that it's essential because it helps guarantee that every physician that practices in the United States has at least this minimum amount of knowledge. In order for these, both exams are very difficult to pass. It takes many years of studying. So you can't wake up one day and just walk into a USMLE. You have to take many years to study. You have to have a lot of passion for the field in order for you to do well on these exams. And essentially, that's another thing that the test captures. It captures people who honestly have a passion for medicine and to practice medicine. So I think that's it.
Thanks, Dr. Boone. So
Yeah.
One more, please.
Yeah, absolutely.
David would like to know, how long will it take me to complete the program? And maybe you could tell us not just about the length, but what classes and resources are in OUM's program to support students in the U.S. and beyond to pass their USMLE steps?
Yeah, so typically with the steps, because I said that the steps do take a while to study and master, we say that the program will take on average about 5 years for an individual to complete. So with that though, along the way, from the day you arrive, we are starting to prepare you for USMLE with the curriculum. Within the curriculum, we have different snippets that are USMLE based, whether it's the entire courses written behind a USMLE or it's the way that we write our test questions. After you get out of your preclinical years, we then have a USMLE prep course for you, and that will prepare you for step one. And then in that prep course, not only are you having lectures that are, video lectures, but we also have student groups for students who, they find that they study better in groups. They find that going over questions with another individual just helps them memorize information better. So we have student groups, as well as we have faculty-led student groups, which we call our interactive sessions, where we go over USMLE questions together. And I personally am one of the instructors for that. So we go over the USMLE questions together, and we talk about, what are the key findings in this question? What are the things that when you see these words together, you need to immediately think, and then you need a process in order for you to be able to answer, to find the correct answer. So we walk through that process together the entire time you're prepping for USMLE. When you're done, you then go into your clinical rotations. During your clinical rotations, we also will be offering services to help you prepare for your step two. During your step two, we have a USMLE prep program that you can enter anytime during your clinical rotations. You can enter into our USMLE step two prep program. And what we do there is the same exact thing that we do with the step one program. We have student groups available, as well as interactive sessions that are available for your disposal. And then we have anything, if you're a person who you say, oh my gosh, I really, really, really need help on biochemistry. We even have USMLE advisors that are there to help you with biochemistry. If that's what you want help with, or if that's what we see that you need help with, we have all of those to help push you across the finish line for both of your exams. So hopefully that answers your questions.
Thanks, Dr. Boone. If you have a question for me or for Dr. Boone, or if you want to learn more, please visit our website or email us at admissions@oum.edu.ws. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks, guys.